Hello and welcome to France in Focus. Coming up in this edition, a month after the Paris killings, the country remains on high terror alert as soldiers are attacked in Nice. He was tipped to be president, but former IMF head Dominique Strauss-Kahn's career nosedived after a series of sex allegations. Now he's in the dock in Lille, accused of involvement in a prostitution ring. And new figures show an alarming rise in homelessness. We meet one man who says he has no choice but to sleep in his car. Well, it's been a month now since the Charlie Hebdo attacks, but France's terror alert system remains at its highest level. A series of arrests have been made in the wake of those deadly events, with the authorities coming in for some criticism over the crackdown, not least when they interrogated an 8-year-old for apology for terrorism. But the government insists the threat remains real, particularly in the wake of a knife attack on 3 soldiers in the southern city of Nice.
Their mission? To survey and protect France's most sensitive sites. 4,700 police officers are standing guard at 700 Jewish schools around the country, like this high school in the suburbs of Paris. They're at their most vigilant during the morning rush.
Many students in Paris pass through here. We're stationed long hours and expected to keep an eye on all the cars that pass by. We're especially wary of vehicles with tinted windows.
Parents drop their children off a short distance away from school, a safeguard meant to secure the perimeter.
Without the military, we'd be a little stressed. It's reassuring.
Exceptional but necessary measures, according to school officials, in light of January's terrorist attacks.
Parents are more at ease. We've been able to restore a sense of serenity to our students. Classes have resumed under conditions that are close to normal.
24-hour patrol means that military personnel are allocated on-ground quarters. A constant rotation. For every soldier on guard, another is sleeping while a third is receiving training.
Soldiers can use these rooms to relax a little. For such an intense mission, we need time to recover.
For many, an armed presence makes daily life feel more secure. The staff are thankful and don't hold back when it comes to showing their solidarity.
They're here to offer protection, to make sure we stay calm and in good spirits. On the other side, it's our duty to make sure they're as comfortable as possible.
It's a risky operation. Earlier this month, 3 soldiers were wounded in a knife attack while guarding a Jewish community center in Nice. Despite the threat, these troops are determined to hold their ground.
We know that we are targets. We know the risks. Whether you're stationed in France or abroad, there are always going to be dangers.
French officials have admitted that the Charlie Hebdo attackers had accomplices, still at large and posing a continuing threat. Round the clock, 7 days a week, a show of France's readiness to thwart terror at any moment, even on the school front.
Now, he was once head of the IMF, tipped to become president of France until a series of sex allegations ruined his career. Now, Dominique Strauss-Kahn is one of 14 men on trial in the northern city of Lille, accused of being at the centre of a prostitution ring. Plenty of lurid details have already emerged, and more are expected when the man the French know as DSK appears in court.
The latest chapter in Dominique Strauss-Kahn's fall from grace. The former IMF chief, known as DSK in France, is currently standing trial in Lille, charged with involvement in a prostitution ring. Prostitution is legal in France, but aiding, organizing, or assisting in the prostitution of others is not. Subtleties the judge will have to ascertain.
The statute is very specific, and to convict him, they'd have to show one of 3 things. Either that he protected people or aided them in the prostitution, or that he profited from it and realized some of the proceeds, or that he induced people into prostitution.
The Carlton affair is named after one of the hotels where businessmen and police officials allegedly organized the sex parties that took place in Brussels, Paris, and Washington. Strauss-Kahn admitted to attending these types of gatherings, but strenuously denied having ever set foot in a Carlton hotel. Some experts have said that since 13 other people will be in the dock, this would appear to be a group enterprise rather than an isolated incident. But French sex club owner Dominique Strauss-Kahn, who was a co-defendant in the case, appeared relaxed as he was entering the courthouse. Also known as Dodo la Saumure, he claimed to have never met DSK before Monday and said the former IMF chief remains the central figure in this trial.
We're going to have lots of fun. There is no doubt that this will be a very good show.
But the case has also got some substance.
What substance?
Aren't you the main figure despite DSK being here?
No. It's DSK. He does tarnish my reputation a little, but I'm not the main figure.
A controversial case for other reasons too, with prosecutors divided on whether there's enough evidence for DSK to stand trial. His next court appearance is scheduled for February 10th.
Another success for Marine Le Pen's Front National. They've made it through to the second round of a by-election in the Doubs department near Switzerland. It's a headache for François Hollande's governing socialists. Their candidate faces the far-right contender in the runoff. But it's also been causing problems for Nicolas Sarkozy's opposition UMP. They've been arguing among themselves over what advice to give supporters.
The UMP in turmoil again and beset by divisions. Eliminated in the first round of the local by-election, the leaders of the party had to quickly instruct their constituents on how to vote. Tuesday evening, after more than 2 hours of heated debate, a decision was reached, a neither-nor policy. Support won't be given to either candidate.
We're calling on our voters to abstain or to leave the ballot blank.
With 22 for and 19 against, the vote was tight, a setback for Nicolas Sarkozy, who wished to also give the voters the option of choosing the socialist candidate. Since his return as the party leader, the former president has struggled to impose his authority. Without waiting for an official party decision, Alain Juppé announced via his blog on Monday that voters should vote against the National Front candidate. An annoyed Sarkozy accused Juppé of causing divisions in the party, a claim Juppé denied.
I don't believe at all the UMP is fracturing. There are 2 points on which we totally agree. One is to block the National Front. They're our main opponents. 2, there's no question of a Republican front.
Since last Sunday's defeat, discord has rocked the party. Even among Sarkozy's closest confidants, there is little consensus.
I say no to the FN and no to the socialists.
Sarkozy didn't say no to the PS.
Well, he's forgotten one sentence.
The National Front is hoping to capitalize on the disagreements.
I think this shows once again that the UMP on this matter, just like with others, has no consistent position. There's also a strong feeling of unease within their ranks. Opinion surveys show the UMP electorate is largely in favour of building alliances with the National Front. That's something new.
How the UMP party leaders respond to the by-election has given a glimpse of their strategy ahead of the 2017 presidential election.
Next are some shocking statistics on homelessness in France. Some 700,000 people now have no home of their own. The number's increased by 50% over the last 10 years. And it's left some people seeking increasingly drastic solutions. We met one man in the eastern city of Mulhouse who's been forced to sleep in his car.
Much like every night for the last 4 years, this man is on the lookout for a quiet place to park until sunrise. Down and out in France, he has no choice but to live in his car.
Sleeping in your car for 1 or 2 days is okay, but after a week you start to draw attention to yourself.
Vacant parking lots are an ideal spot. He splits his nights among 10 sites. Tonight he pulls into an industrial zone next door warehouse. It's time to get his affairs in order. Bundled into the boot, all his worldly possessions.
You have to be mentally strong. It's not a life. But for now, I have no choice.
It was following a bad breakup that he decided to leave his hometown. At 7:30 p.m, it's time to pull back the covers and go to sleep. Struggling to stay warm, he'll keep all his clothes on. Still, it could be worse.
If one day I find myself on the streets, I don't know what I'll do. I prefer not to think about that scenario.
Is this car your lifeline?
Well, I'm 50, so I can still work, but without a car, how would I get there?
Outside, it's a chilly 2 degrees. When we return to meet him at 6 a.m. the following day, he seems worse for wear. After a long and relatively sleepless night, it's time for a morning pick-me-up.
I don't eat in the mornings. I have a coffee, nothing else. I don't eat anything for lunch either, just during dinner. Although yesterday I didn't get dinner.
Painter by trade, he's been chasing work for 6 months without success. Surviving on €500 per month in benefits, he spends his days visiting recruitment agencies.
I work on construction sites. I try to find work, but there aren't any opportunities.
Some relief is offered by emergency centres. This outreach station provides laundry and post services, but securing lodging is a long and complicated process.
He doesn't want to use emergency shelter because it's shared housing. It can be difficult to adapt to. He doesn't want to feel restricted.
Like 3.5 million people in France, he'll continue to search for somewhere to call home, even if it is just for the night.
Finally, congratulations are in order for the latest members of gastronomy's elite. France is home to 26 of the world's 111 Michelin 3-star restaurants, and 2 of them are new additions. So if you've got an appetite and some money to burn, you might want to try out Yannick Aleno's Chez Le Doyen here in Paris, or René and Maxime Meilleur's La Bouite at Saint-Martin-de-Belleville in Savoie. That's it for this edition. Thanks for watching.
I feel my pulse in